are the architects of this movement if not us? Right? Who are we expecting to come in and shape our food system and save our planet, if not those of us sitting here? Dr. Shiva sort of connects all of us in our work locally to a global community of people who care about the same things that we care about. We are part of a group that extends from here to Dehradun, where Dr. Shiva's farm is.
I think we've to get out of the anthropocentric view in a deep, deep way at this moment. Because if we think of justice only between humans, we will not find the solutions for the humans either. Anthropocentrism made humans superior to other species, and for some it meant the license to destroy other species. Colonialism made whites superior to all the peoples they colonized and gave a legitimacy to exterminate. So this war that began in Hitler's Germany is not just a war based on tools of violence which have become the tools of agriculture, but it is a war from the mind and a war from the heart. And from the mind, it is a militarized thinking about our relationship with the earth. You think of the factory farms, it's war against the animals. You think of the pesticide spraying and the neonicotinoids, it's war against the pollinators. Poison cartel has driven 83% insects to extinction just in the last 20 years. Instruments of war against the earth is war, it's not science. To know how to kill doesn't equate to know the diversity of how to keep alive. They're two different knowledges and they're two different sciences. And we have to cultivate the science of life. And I'm grateful to Monsanto, because if it hadn't been as horrible as it had, and said we are the inventors, we are the masters, we are the writers of all the laws, I wouldn't have been woken up to the necessity to protect seeds. And I think in this decade, if today Bernie Sanders is able to say we must rewrite these laws of intellectual property, that means even in this country you can have the dream I had in 1987 in India, that seed should be patent-free. Seed is a commons, seed is evolution and biodiversity. It is nobody's property. It is what gives life for the next generation. Now this has been my work, which is why I started to save seed. I said seed is not an invention. We have a duty to protect biodiversity. We will keep seed in the commons. We will refuse to obey any law that makes it illegal for us to save seeds. That's what Navdanya is. I think we have to cultivate beauty. Beauty is the ultimate indicator of health. Yeah? And each of these is being ruptured. And the final place where greenhouse gases are contributed is creating a system where you put animals in prisons and you have methane emissions, and you throw away 50% of the food waste. That's 50% of the climate problem. 75% of the water problem, even in this country, is industrial farming. Soil degradation, land degradation, 75%. And biodiversity erosion, insects 82%, plants, cultivated vegetables 93%. We are talking about a serious sixth mass extinction because of this industrial model of farming, in the way it spreads monocultures and the way it spreads poisons. And because chemical and fossil fuels are at the heart of what are seen as multiple problems, dealing with a poison-free food and farming system heals the earth, repairs the carbon cycle, addresses climate change, creates habitat for species. We cannot engineer the reversal of species extinction. But what we can do is create service to the earth, grow biodiversity, and the earth will grow more biodiversity herself. On the soil, what do? We give organic matter. That's all we do. Do we make those soil organisms? We don't. They make themselves. Do we work and engineer their web? We don't. And they're not just giving us more carbon and more nitrogen, they're giving us more zinc and more magnesium and all the micronutrient trace element deficiencies that are behind the disease epidemic and the inability of the body to do what it does. We don't have to engineer the pollinators to be on the farm. They find safe habitat. And that's why your pollinator pathways is so important. Now, everyone can't be a farmer, but everyone can be a gardener. And that's why we have to begin. No matter how small the garden, it could be one. I've always said with seed, you can be a seed saver because the one seed, an open pollinated variety of your favorite plant in your windowsill, begin with that. Let's make sure that in 2 years, we can think of food communities where even if everyone doesn't have the time to visit the farm, everyone has the trust in a group of farms. We have to cultivate trust. A movement that reclaims this beautiful planet as a garden and not as a leftover residue of an ugly 1st-century war against the earth and against people. We have to see earth justice as part of human justice. It's when the bees have their justice, and the earthworms have their justice, and the trees have their justice, that's when humans will also have better justice.